The brand itself, it started about 4 years ago. As I mentioned, we started from scratch. I even have started with a little debt. My mother gave me the first 500 euros to buy stock on the platform. I returned that money. It's 2013. I reached a stage in my business where I had about 15 e-shops dealing with video games all around Europe. I have done lots of acquisitions. I have set up the new ones from scratch. The company became about 50 people in size, and we started to have a problem. We started to have a problem with inventory. We started having problems with technology because we had e-stores, e-shops on different platforms, you know, and this brings more complexity to the business than necessary. So we came up with the idea that we need to do the next evolutionary step in our business, and this is where Kinguin came in as a platform which incubates all these stores in just one destination. By essence, it became a marketplace platform. What we did back in the day is we basically looked at all the solutions in the market. You would say the most advanced was eBay. We saw eBay has a problem. The main problem with eBay, probably you might even feel it today for you who still use the platform, is basically its discovery, right? So you have so many categories, subcategories, and sometimes it's really hard to find the stuff you're looking for. So we solved this in gaming, and this brought the attention of so many gamers that basically within 4 years we have managed to achieve about $100 million in annual turnover. We started with about 500 products when we launched the platform. Today we are about 30,000, and there are about 1,500 added to the platform every single month. These are unique products, and all unique products related to gaming. We're not only in games and in-game items anymore, also we are doing services for gamers. So these are a bit of the stats, you know, to get you acquainted very, very fast with who we are. So we are an existing business who's been here for a while. This is the first time you see us in Dubai. We haven't been doing actually lots of business development, you know. We've been really working hard on our product, you know, and attracting the B2C crowd. We operate in 16 languages, 16 languages where we serve the customer from start to end. There is nothing like escalation of your ticket on Kinguin. As a customer, you don't deal with the merchants. We do everything on your behalf, you know. We deal with the merchants. So this saves lots of time. This saves lots of energy and sometimes even nerves on both sides to resolve an issue. And 95% of the cases we actually solve without the need of escalation to the merchant, right? So this actually brings us to a 96% customer satisfaction rates. We have a huge increase in live chat sessions. People are abandoning things like email. They don't want to wait for ticket answers. So we actually resolve most of the issues live, right? So you come, you have sometimes to wait in a queue, you know, but once we get the issue resolved for you in no time. 4,000 active merchants on the platform from all around the world, mostly from Western Europe and the US, because also these are our biggest markets. The United States, it's about 20% of our target market. Germany comes second with 16%. Then it's, generally speaking, it's Western Europe, Scandinavia, We are quite good in Australia, New Zealand, Canada. We are not so good in the Middle East. We are not so good in Southeast Asia. We are quite okay in South America, and we have very good dynamics in Eastern Europe. This was our vision from the very start. So whatever we do, we provide great gaming experiences to everyone. Whether it's in the form of selling you a video game at a reasonable price, and here we save the community up to today about 162 million US dollars. Basically, that's in savings on the gamer's account compared to the retail price in the market, right? This is one of the reasons. Marketplaces, they save you time, usually find your product faster, and you usually find it at a more reasonable price. This philosophy has been extended to many other projects we've been working on, and we will present also some of these today. This is where we want to be. In many ways, you see us actually operating as a media company, right? E-commerce can be boring to consumers very often. So we find ways how to communicate with our audience in original ways, in very untypical ways, and almost every time it starts with the brand itself, right? So we have a very nice brand hero which is appealing to the gamers and the large audience alike. Video games. Well, that's a segment which is growing still. It's exploding. It's a segment which is constantly reinventing itself. It managed to surpass the music industry. It managed to surpass Hollywood 3 years ago, and it's constantly growing. What's happening also inside the industry is our trends, which we reflected to those earlier than many other guys around us, and this is also what brought us today. We understood the market and where it's going. So we roughly started in 2009 in digital distribution, where every business was operating on the terms that you have to go to Best Buy, you have to go to the brick and mortar shop to buy your video game. We started in 2009 to operate our business on pure digital basis, and you see what's happening. It's constantly growing in favor of the digital base. This is up until 2014. And this is where we are today. So as I mentioned, 2017, about 100 million US dollars in annual turnover. And this is where the revenues come from. So we have video game sales. We don't sell these, again, we don't sell these video games ourselves. These are sold by the merchants, right? So we make money from the commission on these sales. They are so-called the virtual items, in-game items. These are items you usually apply in the game itself after you have bought it or downloaded it for free. And currently, this is about 9% of our revenue stream. That's very important to realize, because we believe that within 3 years, this number might be actually bigger than this number. Why? First of all, many of the popular games are becoming free to play. Many good games are becoming free to play. The consumer expectations are also changing in this regard. And these games are opening their economies finally to the outside world. By that I mean there is a publisher, there is a video game developer who simply gives you an API and access to his product base, right? And this is where we see our potential, through our API, connecting to these publishers and importing basically their product database into ours. If we today are at about 30,000 products on the platform, this means within 2 years we can explode to anything between 500,000 to 1,000,000 products, right? Unique products to be sold. Our other revenue streams, we have a sales booster. This is an internal program dedicated to merchants, which is also growing very quickly. There is a Kinguin buyer protection program, which is an insurance program for transactions for gamers who are not 100% sure about the merchants they are about to be in touch with, so they prefer to secure their transaction with a small fee. Some payment gateways, they have additional fees, and so this is how Kinguin operates. The big picture here, out of 100 million, we operate about 20% gross margin. Again, this is the stake of the individual countries in our turnover. United States, in the meantime, has jumped to the first place. Germany currently is about 16%. Western Europe, Scandinavia, the rest of the world, including Asia, Eastern Europe, Southern America, Middle East is about 18%. Our acquisition channels is how we work. 22% of our revenues come from direct interaction through our website. Referrals, affiliate is 8% and it's growing very quickly for us. We are in partnerships with absolutely all of the leading affiliate platforms worldwide. Social, that's an interesting part. Social used to be actually for us bigger than it's today. It declined. It's mainly because of the changing politics of the likes of Facebook and the others, where basically anything, it actually moved into this category. It moved more into the paid search. There is no free revenue from Facebook anymore. I mean, you have to pay to get your return back. So this brings us again into developing the other initiative even more. The brand itself, yes. So we build lots of content around the brand, around Kinguin. We see the Kinguins as a family, similar to the Pokemons. I'm able to show you different characters. You know, you will see an anarchy guy, you will see a pirate guy. We have even a Jason guy, and so on and so forth. So we develop this in the form of comics, mobile games. We do lots of initiatives when it comes. We have now in the pipeline even children books with the character. We have plushies, which is distributed to stores. You know, so it's a brand which is starting also to live on its own. The interesting things, as an e-commerce company, actually we license to other companies to have our logo basically on their products. You know, why? Also because we are involved a lot with the community. We interact with the community in a very direct way, I believe also in a very smart way. We used to sponsor lots of esports events, lots of esports teams, bringing our mascot, you know, our brand very close to the gamers. This is our company, more or less, currently about 350 people in 3 countries. You see the customer support is about 1/3 of the company. These are guys who are graduates from universities in Poland. Usually there are guys with very fluent in 2 to 3 foreign languages, and we're speaking about language test, they passing of 85% plus. This is an interesting trend on our part that we used to have guys with 1 to 2 maximum foreign languages. Now it's usually 2 to 3. And we also implementing more and more artificial intelligence and chatbots into our interaction with the customers. So this also help us, you know, keep the space on a healthy level. We have our own in-house development teams which support the platform. Very efficient marketing team. We have a sales team. The sales team, this is the team which also manages merchants, on the platform. We provide a separate customer support to these merchants. They usually have their own account manager who deals with them. Structure, as I mentioned, 3 countries. So Hong Kong is our sales headquarter. It's our profit center. So everything, all purchases happen to in Kinguin Limited in Hong Kong, and while being actually on par with regulations in individual jurisdictions, when it comes, for example, VAT in the EU, we are registered in the Netherlands, and there is a so-called one-stop shop MOS program which distributes from there the VAT to the respective 28 countries of the European Union. Then we have service companies with different also offices in Poland and Bulgaria. Most of the employees are actually in Poland. Most of the customer support. Bulgaria is very heavy on technological development, so these are programmers mostly. So what's our strategy for the future? One of the things we've been doing and focusing on heavily is what we call API microservices. So the same kind of challenge we had at the very start with our shops being on different platforms, on different technologies. We also experienced this challenge with the Kinguin platform itself. It was a very big monolith with lots of code involved. And changing anything in the platform was basically a trouble in terms of scaling, in terms of reliability, in terms of simple daily load, of information on the website. So what we've been doing really hard in the past 2 years almost is we've been breaking this technology into smaller parts, reprogramming, repackaging, and implementing it in the platform again with an API based platform. Esports continues for us to be a key pillar in our next development strategy. It's an excellent platform to grow your brand awareness, to keep actually a very real interaction with the customer. What's interesting, generally speaking, I would like to say here, for those to realize the power of esports. Sometimes people tend to see it something different from video gaming. Well, right now, this is becoming the video gaming. I mean, we used to see people playing single-player games mostly. Now they're playing mostly competitive games. Okay, so definitely it's something we have to be there. IP, definitely this is a thing. As I said, we are licensing our brand. We are building a separate distribution network. We are working with kids. We are working with teenagers. We are preparing the next wave of customers of the platform already with us. Other major innovation, blockchain. Blockchain comes here, fits perfectly into our DNA as a company. It's where we started. Back in the days, also, we solved a problem of inequality of access to goods. But what I mean by this? So video games publishers, what they basically still actually trying to do is selling, for example, the video game for $90 in Saudi Arabia, while it costs maybe $20 in Russia, right? So this is something we enabled the trade of value, the trade of goods already back in the days between these continents even. Blockchain is a natural continuation of this, and actually even as a company, we are going through a decentralization process our own, kind of like if we try this on ourselves, this is the best way to understand it. But to this part, I think Kim will do a better job in explaining all of that. So this is more or less kind of like the ecosystem we work within, with lots of initiative involved. We try to focus on very original initiatives which have some of original value to the customers. This is an example. You may download actually this this mobile game from the Apple Store. Our approach to this kind of initiative is also very pragmatic. What I mean by this is this game, it's not a game which we have developed ourselves. We just took another game from the market, repackaged it with our own brand hero, and now we are distributing it to our customers. The game itself is free to play and relies on microtransactions inside. This is the kind of project we are presenting today. Please don't get confused by this slide too much. We will be distributing basically a flyer where we kind of like highlight the potential cooperation possibilities with us. We are here mainly to talk about the ICO and the blockchain involved. All right, so thank you very much. I mean, that was a very, very quick introduction to the business. I tried to keep it as... thank you.